Hey, you. Ever feel like Google's playing hide and seek with your website, like you're killing it in local search, and then, bam, your main listing vanishes from the organic results?
Yeah, it's definitely been causing some head scratching. Businesses are ranking well in the local pack, but then Google seems to make their main website listing disappear from organic search.
So we're talking about websites that show up in that local pack, right? When you search for something like pizza near me, and you get the map and the three listings.
Exactly. And then if you scroll down to the regular organic results, those same websites are sometimes missing.
So their website is ranking twice, once in the local pack and once in organic search, and Google's like, nope, too much of a good thing.
It seems that way. Schwartz, he's a big name in SEO. He first noticed this back in January of this year, 2025.
This year.
Yeah, this year. And he thought it was part of one of those January local updates Google does, but it turns out it's something else entirely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this whole thing has actually been going on since August of last year.
Wow. So, like, for months now, businesses might not have even realized what was happening. I mean, that's a lot of potential traffic they could be missing out on.
For sure. And it's understandable why some people might think Google's penalizing them for ranking well locally, but it doesn't seem to be a penalty.
Oh, okay. So what is it then?
Well, you know how Google's always been big on showing a variety of results, right?
Right.
They hate duplicate content, so this seems like, well, like another way they're trying to, mix things up in the search results.
I see. So they don't want to show the same website twice, even if it is in two different places.
Exactly. They're aiming for that diversity.
Okay. But, I mean, for businesses, it's like, hey, I earned those two spots.
Totally. It can be frustrating for sure, especially if you're losing out on all that organic traffic. But luckily there's a pretty easy fix for this.
Okay, I like easy fixes. What is it?
It all comes down to your Google business profile. You know that little box that shows up when someone searches for your
Oh,
business?
yeah. With your business name, address, phone number, and your website. Right.
Right, exactly. And most businesses link their homepage there, which makes sense, at first glance.
Sure.
But that's what seems to be triggering this whole deduplication thing, because then your homepage is showing up in both places, in the local pack and the organic results.
Gotcha. So what should we link to instead?
Well, Joy Hawkins, another SEO expert, she's been doing a lot of digging into this, and she suggests changing that URL in your Google business profile to a different page on your site.
Really? Just like any other page?
Yeah, pretty much. Instead of your homepage, link to something else that's relevant, Like if you're a restaurant, maybe link to your menu page.
Oh, I see. So basically, we're giving Google a different URL to show for the local pack so it doesn't think we're being all duplicative with our homepage.
Yeah, you got it. It's like a little nudge to Google. Hey, look at this page instead. And then your homepage is free to rank organically without being flagged as a duplicate.
Wow, so that's it. Just switch up a link. That's pretty clever. So after the break, let's dive deeper into some specific examples, how to pick the right page for your business and all that. Sounds like there's more to it than just randomly picking a page.
Definitely. We'll get into all that. It's all about understanding the nuances of these algorithms.
Awesome. Okay, so changing that link in our Google Business profile, it sounds like a pretty good solution to this whole deduplication issue. But how do we choose the right page? There's a lot of pages on my website.
Yeah, that's true. It can definitely be overwhelming trying to, figure out which page to pick. But it's really all about strategy here. We want to make sure we're not just fixing this one little thing, but we're actually, using it as an opportunity to optimize the whole online presence.
Okay, strategy. So where do we even start with that?
Well, first things first, we got to think about relevance, right? Like the page you choose, it should be directly relevant to whatever people are searching for when they're looking for a business like yours locally. So let's say you're a bakery, right?
Okay, I'm a bakery.
And people are searching for bakeries near me on Google. You probably don't want to link to that blog post you wrote about the history of croissants.
Right. Yeah, probably not the best choice for my Google business profile link.
Exactly. You want to make sure that the page you're linking to actually matches what people are looking for, when they're searching locally.
So, if I'm a florist, I should probably link to a page that shows all my arrangements, right?
Exactly. You want to give those local searchers the information they're looking for, when they're searching for a florist in their area.
Got it. So it's not just about the keywords, it's about the intent behind those keywords.
Yes, exact. You hit the nail on the head there. Like someone searching for bakeries near me, they're probably, they're hungry, they want a pastry. They're looking for a place that's open right now. So the page you link to, it should really cater to those needs.
So it's about understanding what the searcher actually wants and then giving them a page that will make them happy.
Right. Like think about it. If you're that bakery, Maybe link to a page that shows your hours, your location, maybe even some drool-worthy pictures of your cakes, Really tempting stuff. And that brings us to another super important point, user experience.
Ooh, user experience. Yes, that's important.
Big time. The page you're linking to, it's got to be, easy to use, easy to navigate. It should look good on mobile because, a lot of people are searching on their phones these days.
Oh, for sure. And it's got to load quickly. I have zero patience for websites that take forever.
Nobody does. You don't want to drive all this traffic to a page that's just going to frustrate people, right? It's all about creating a really smooth, positive experience from the moment they look on that link.
Makes sense. So we've got relevance, user experience. What else?
Optimization. Don't forget about optimization. The page you choose, it's got to be optimized for local SEO. So that means using those relevant keywords, in your page title, your headings, the content itself. And of course, make sure your business name, address, and phone number, all that good stuff, it's consistent across your website and your Google business profile.
Ah, yes, NAP consistency. That's what the SEO folks call it, right?
That's right. You got to make it super clear for Google to connect the dots and understand, hey, this is the business, this is where they're located, this is how you reach them, all that jazz.
So I'm hearing that picking the right page for your Google business profile, it's not just like a random decision. There's a lot of thought that needs to go into it.
Definitely. You want to consider those keywords, the intent behind them, the user experience, and, of course, all that local SEO stuff. It can be a lot, but it's worth it to get it right.
I mean, your Google business profile, that's often like the first thing people see when they're searching for you online.
Absolutely. So you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward.
This whole thing, it's got me thinking, even if you haven't, lost your organic listing because of this deduplication thing, it might still be a good idea to just like look at your Google business profile, see what you're linking to, and ask yourself, is there a better page I could be using?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's always good to reevaluate, see if there's room for improvement. And who knows, maybe making a simple switch could, boost your local visibility, bring in some more customers. You never know.
Okay, so let's say I've done all that. I've picked the perfect page, made the switch. How do I know if it's actually working?
Well, the first thing to keep in mind is that SEO, it takes time. You're not going to see results overnight.
Patience, patience, patience. It's always be patience with SEO, right? But are there any specific things I can look for? How will I know if my changes are actually making a difference?
For sure. You can use tools like, Google Analytics and Google Search Console. These are your best friends when it comes to tracking, well, pretty much everything. You can see your website traffic, you can see how people are finding you, you can track your rankings for different keywords.
So, we're basically playing detective again, looking for clues to see if our strategy's working.
Exactly. And if you're not seeing the results you want, don't be afraid to experiment. Maybe try linking to a different page, tweak your keywords, play around with your website content.
It's all about testing and refining, right? Seeing what works, what doesn't work.
Yep. Google's algorithms, they're always changing. So we got to be willing to adapt and evolve right along with them.
It's a wild world out there in SEO land. But hey, you know what? There are a ton of resources to help us along the way. There are blogs, podcasts, forums. You can even, hire an SEO expert if you need to.
Absolutely. There's a whole community of people out there who are, figuring this stuff out together. So don't be afraid to reach out, ask questions, learn from each other. It's a journey.
That's so true. And it's a journey that's always changing, always evolving.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about this deduplication problem, the simple fix with the Google Business Profile link, and of course, all those important factors to consider when choosing the right page.
We dove deep.
We did. Any final words of wisdom before we wrap things up?
Just remember, this Google update, it might feel like a bit of a hurdle, but it's actually a great opportunity. It's a chance to step back, look at your online presence, and maybe make some positive changes.
And if you're feeling lost, don't panic. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you learn about SEO, about how Google works, the more confident you'll feel about navigating these changes.
And honestly, just have fun with it. SEO is always changing, so it keeps things interesting, right?
Absolutely. Until next time, happy optimizing.
Happy optimizing.
Yeah, it really does keep us on our toes,
Keeps things interesting. So much to learn.
For sure. Okay, so as we wrap up our deep dive into this Google update, I'm wondering, what do you think this all means, in the grand scheme of things? What does this update tell us about where Google's headed?
Well, I think it kind of confirms what we've been seeing for a while now. Google is, well, they're really putting a lot of emphasis on the whole user experience thing, making sure people are getting the most relevant, the most diverse results possible. They don't want, the same websites dominating every single search.
It's not just about variety for the sake of variety, right?
Right, exactly. It's about making the search experience better, richer, more informative. Yeah.
Like if I'm searching for something online, I don't just want to see the same website over and over again.
Exactly. You want to see different options, different perspectives, compare things, make an informed decision.
I guess it's kind of like if you went to a library and they only have one book.
Huh. Right. That wouldn't be a very good library.
Not at all.
Google, they want to be that, that massive library with endless information. And I think, this update it's another step in that direction.
So zooming out even further, what do you think the long-term implications of this update are? For businesses, for the whole SEO landscape.
Well, I think it's going to force businesses to get even smarter, even more strategic with their online presence. You can't just rank for a couple of generic keywords and call it a day anymore.
So it's not just about the content either, right?
Right. You got to understand how Google's algorithms work and optimize your website accordingly.
It's that whole cat and mouse game with Google.
Exactly. But hey, it keeps things exciting.
It does. So as we wrap up, any final words of wisdom?
Knowledge is power. The more you know about how Google works, the better you'll be able to, navigate all these changes and come out on top.
Couldn't agree more. And hey, if you're ever feeling lost or confused, remember, there are tons of resources out there, blogs, podcasts. You can even, hire an SEO expert if you need help.
Absolutely. There's a whole community of people out there who are, learning and growing and figuring this stuff out together.
Well, folks, that's our deep dive for today. We hope you learned a thing or two. And hey, if Google's making moves like this with local search, who knows what else they've got up their sleeve, right?
Right. It's a fascinating time to be in the SEO world, that's for sure.
It is. Until next time, happy optimizing, everyone.
Happy optimizing.